Recording in progress.
David, take your seat, please. Is this on? We'll try this out. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honor guests. We got a lot of guests here tonight. I love it. Welcome to the July 18th, 2023 meeting. I am Cameron Hamrick, your Sergeant at Arms. Before we get started, a couple of logistics for the first-time guests. Our bathrooms are behind us. Ladies, go around this way. Men, go around this way. There's also another one in the back here. What else? Microphone. We don't have speakers, so it's not broke. It's just for the people on Zoom. So that's the only way they can hear us, is through the microphone. So if you're speaking tonight, speak into the microphone for our folks on Zoom. And speak loudly, because luckily our AC is working. We are thankful for air conditioning, but it is rather loud. So just speak up if you're up here speaking. So July 18th, does anybody have any guess on what famous person's birthday is today? There's quite a few, but one in particular sticks out. No guesses? Nelson Mandela. Today is Nelson Mandela Day. He was born on July 18th, 1918. He was an activist and politician for anti-apartheid activists. I had to look up what the word apartheid meant, but basically in South Africa, it was a system of institutionalized racial segregation that existed in South Africa and Southwest Africa from 1948 to the early 1990s. And in his efforts to fight the system, he was actually arrested in 1962 and imprisoned to life in prison. But he was released in 1990 after serving 27 years of that sentence. And in 1993, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. And in 1994, he became the first president of South Africa. And he was the president from 1994 to 1999. He was also the country's first Black head of state and first elected in a fully representative democratic election. So it's Nelson Mandela Day. And he's got a bunch of great quotes, but I picked three that stood out to me the most. His first quote was, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." The second one, which I really love, is, "A winner is a dreamer who never gives up." And third, what counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others. So happy Nelson Mandela Day. With that, I will turn it over to our presiding officer, Dr. Eric Laxer. Please help me welcome Dr. Eric.
Thank you, Cameron. That was a very interesting fact to hear about today. I did not know it was his birthday. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. I'm Eric Laxer. I'm our club president this year, and I see a lot of new faces. We're delighted to have all of you join us. If you have never been to a Toastmasters meeting, you will be in for a real treat this evening. We have an excellent agenda, and one of the customs at the beginning of our meetings is to give our guests an opportunity to introduce themselves. And I'm going to ask our VP of Membership, Colin, to come up and give me a hand with that over the next few minutes. So please join me in welcoming Colin up to the front.
Sure. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and honored guests. As Dr. Eric said, we'd like to have our guests just stand up, introduce themselves, share how they found us and what drew you to come out tonight. So we'll start over here. Oh, you can sit. That's fine. That's fine.
Please forgive my seat. I'm Darlene Williams. Andrea Williams is my daughter. I'm visiting.
Hello, my name is Jade Williams. I'm her daughter, and I'm a licensed cosmetologist, so it's good to be here.
All right. Family affair. Pleasure to meet you both.
Hello, my name is Maya May. I actually live in the area. I've been interested in Toastmasters for probably a couple of years now, but never really made the move. Decided to look you all up online, realized I live like a mile away and said I should probably stop by on a Tuesday. So thank you for having me.
Hello, my name is Robert Koch.
how did I find y'all? Well, I had to give a presentation on something called True Believing, and it's part of the Extreme Ownership book. It's a very good read if you want to be a really good leader. My company pretty much graded me, and they said that my precision sucked. So I'm here to increase my precision in my communication.
Well, you seem pretty precise to me.
Hello, everyone. My name's Andy Patel. I actually found you online. This is not my first Toastmasters meeting. I've attended a few elsewhere, and I'm really just looking to improve my communication skills.
Hey everybody, my name is Anosi Utsalo. This is my first in person. I've been on a couple of virtuals, and I'm just here to become a better speaker and increase my communication.
Hi, my name is Laura Addington. I do live in the area. I'm a business analyst in the financial industry since 2014. I work as a business analyst and want to increase my speaking skills and listening skills.
Hi, my name is Cameron Rackley, and this is my brother, Kendall.
Excellent. Hi, what's your name? Rita. Hi, we just like to have our guests introduce themselves. Please just share your name, how you found us, and why you came here, if that's something that you're inclined to share.
My name is Rita. I found the Toastmaster from a friend like a year ago. And then for some reason today, I was like, I need to learn how to do public speaking. So I was like, let me try this. So this is my first time here. And I'm currently a data scientist. So I'd love to learn more from everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome to all. This is a judgment-free zone, so please put aside any fear or anxiety that you may have and dive headlong into this meeting tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. Everybody, you did an excellent job. So one of the things you'll be seeing going forward in tonight's meeting are different people coming up here and having different roles. And these are roles that our members sign up for, and we take turns at each meeting taking on these different roles. And one of the most important roles at each of our meetings is called our Toastmaster of the Day, who basically is responsible for introducing participants in the meeting and running the meeting. And I'd like to introduce this evening's Toastmaster of the Day, who recently joined our group and has been doing an excellent job with everything that he has done here. He has a very interesting background, having been in the military, in the Air Force, in the private sector, teaching in the public school system. And now he is with us and also interacting with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg School Board and trying to get a position on the school board. So please join me in giving a nice warm welcome to Toastmaster Bill Fountain.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Being a Toastmaster of the day is a little frightening. One of the things I wondered about is I raised my hand to do this yesterday, and I kind of go back and thinking about my time as a student. And when I raised my hand, when the teacher asked, what's the largest bird? I was in the 4th grade. And I said a buzzard, but that's the largest bird I've ever seen. And the teacher said, no. And then some young, cute girl in the back said, it's a condor. And the teacher gave him a thumbs up. So I just sometimes wonder about raising my hand. Well, the thing I want to talk about today, I want to get into our theme. And I don't know when any of y'all saw that I recently read a quote that really shocked me in a way. And the quote is, your talent is a gift from God, or God's gift to you. And what you do with it is that you're going to be given back to God. So that kind of startled me. I said, whoa, do I give back to God? I remember when I was in school, I didn't figure I had any talents at all. And I just said, I couldn't sing. I couldn't carry a tune. I was definitely not stellar in academics. And I later and also even in sports, I came in about the lower 1/3. Now, was I working hard on that? No, I wasn't. And in reality, I was just showing up. And that kind of made me think, and so, it took to me when I was a senior in college before I even discovered anything like that. And that happened to be flying. I went from that 1/3 level to, fortunately, in the flying, only flying, up into the top 10%. So did I give back to God or praise God for that? I said, no, actually my head swelled, and then and that was that way for a long time when I was flying fighters. Well, several years later, as a teacher, I recognized a lot of students would come to me and they had the same problem that I had as a student was, I don't have any talent. I'm not good at anything. And I would try to emphasize the fact that try to work hard on what you have, what God gave you. Work on that. And I did tell them how I found my way and all kind of an off ramp to go into flying. So that's one of the things I think that we need to think about, because doing the best we can with what we have is really giving back to God. And that's one of the things my hats are off to you, to our Toastmasters, because we are building a spirit of bettering ourselves, which is in fact giving back to God. Now, let's go shift over here to our introductions of some folks. Let me see if I get the right thing here. All right, we're going to go into inspirational motivation, something that's going to bring us to lift our spirits for the rest of the meeting, to get us started on that way. And we're starting off with Nick Foster. If we'd come up and give us our motivational. All right, Nick, thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Good evening, Queen City. How are you all doing tonight? Thank you, Bill, for the introduction. Hopefully, I can be as inspirational as Bill put into his intro. So it's a great time of year. Weather is great, and it's a special time of year for me. Performance reviews are due. I see many of you have the same. And I have a team of 10 very hardworking individuals that honestly are doing a great job. I don't have much to complain about. But I am the leader, and I do have to give them something to work towards, to keep pushing them forward. And it's hard to push a group that is already good, because you can't say you're not meeting the metrics, you're not getting your job done, because they are. So this year, this is what they're going to get hit with in about 2 weeks. Are you being effective, or are you being efficient? And if you're being either, you're still completing the job, you're still getting it done. But there is a big difference. If you're being effective, you're producing a result that is wanted. Good job. But if you're being efficient, that means you're producing desired results without wasting material, time, or energy. You're getting it done quickly and easily. And I want them to learn that difference. Because if we are just being effective, we will never get better. We will get the job done, but we will not improve. And there was, I wish I can remember the author's name, but there's a book called Going from Good to Great. And it is a challenge, and it goes through the history of many companies that have overcome it, of finding how not to just do the job good, but how to reach that level of great. And I want to bring that question into everything I do in my daily life. If you're just running out for lunch, grabbing McDonald's, it's effective. Fills the void for a couple hours until dinner, but is it efficient? Not really. That you have the bubble guts later on for one, but also health issues. You're delaying what's coming down the road by eating unhealthy food. As you're coming to this meeting, if you come in and sit here every week and just listen most of the time like I have, it's effective. You learn, but you're not being efficient. In my mind, being efficient would be going home, looking at the next 5-6 weeks of my calendar and saying, I'm signing up for this role, I'm signing up for this role, I'm signing up to speak, I'm signing up for this role. Even if I don't put it online, have that list ready to go that I am ready to move forward in this journey. So as you go through your day, as you come to this meeting, ask yourself, am I being effective? And once I'm effective, how do I become more efficient? Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Super. Now we know a little bit where we'll be going here with being effective people and efficient. So next we go into the grammarian, which do we have a change in the lineup? I don't think so. No, we have Kendall Rackery is going to give us the words, the way to be able to speak and to give us accuracy, which is something I always had challenged with you. Come on up there, Kendall. There we go. Thank you. Here we go.
All right, thank you, Bill. Good evening, Toastmasters and honored guests. This is my first role. I typically just do the table. Thank you. I typically just do the table talks, but I decided to jump into something else this week. So I said, well, grammarian, they're still looking for one. So I decided to jump and do that one. So a little bit about the grammarian is going to introduce the word of the day and falling in line with the theme, which is about talents in God. The word of the day today is elevate. Thank you. Sorry, can you pass me my phone? Sorry about that. I had the definition on my phone and then literally left it back on the table. So elevate, most of us know this word, it's pretty common. To raise or lift something up to a higher position, or to raise to a more important or impressive level. To use it in a sentence, the car driving 30 in the fast lane is making my blood pressure elevate. Or after attending Toastmasters for a year and improving his communication skills, Bob's boss noticed that his mood was often elevated from where it was a year prior. The grammarian also counts the filler words. So, okay, I guess it did the opposite of elevate today. All right. But the grammarian also counts the filler words. So that's the ums, the ohs, the ahs, the so's, the likes, the kindas. Typically, in other Toastmasters, they would have an ah counter, but the grammarian in this Toastmasters club also counts your ahs and your ums for you. And we also give a report at the end of the meeting after everyone has talked. So that starts from the presiding officer, Toastmaster, to last couple speakers, and then the reviewers as well. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kendall. Yeah, I don't think I would ever have the courage to do that job. So next, but the timer, this is something that is very important. We need to know what time it is, and that's going to give us for our efficiency. All right, so we can elevate ourselves. All right, come on over. Thank you. All right, here's Jeff.
Thank you very much, Bill. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. My name is Jeff, and I will be timing your speeches tonight. For each of the speeches, I'll be timing you with either a green light, yellow light, or a red light. If you're doing the ice-breaking speeches, you have 5 to 7 minutes. I give the green light at 5 minutes, at 6 minutes is the yellow light, and at 7 minutes is the red light. If you're doing table topics tonight, you get a green light at 1 minute, a yellow light at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and a red light at 2 minutes. And for the evaluator speeches, you get a green light at 2 minutes, a yellow light at 2 minutes and a half, and a red light at 3 minutes. Thank you very much, and best of luck on your speeches tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Wonderful. All right, now we come to a big position now. We're going to be talking about our, let me get my note here. Yes, we're going to learn a little bit about origin and about impact and crafting the social media. And with that, we have someone who's been with us since February and a very good speaker, which I've seen before in a 4. And so Yasmin Rigo, thank you. Come on board. All right. Thank you very much. Super. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bill. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. We are going to start by taking a trip back in time. Picture this. You're listening to Ja Rule or Christina Aguilera on your 2nd generation iPod that holds a whopping 8 gigabytes. You're wondering what you're going to get from Blockbuster. And you know, you're just living day to day. Cue Friendster. Friendster is seen as the grandfather of social media. It was released in 2002. And while it wasn't the first social media website, it was the first that has the interface that we've all come to know and love: profiles, friends, posts. So that is where social media was kind of born. Today, I'll be speaking about the key elements of a social media strategy in 2023, and I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit of history and trivia for fun. You may be wondering, Yasmin, why should I be worried about this? Why would that be important? Well, because although social media started as, you know, a place to connect with friends and share messages, it's really become a major marketing tool for large companies and also for personal brand. People like Mr. Beast and Charlie D'Amelio have built multi-million-dollar empires on their personal brand through social media. Right. The first and most important part of any social media strategy are the building blocks that said strategy is composed of. So obviously, the first thing you're going to need for social media is content. And as we say in the social media industry, content is king. That's composed of your assets and your copy. So of course, anytime you post on social media, we're using a photo or a video or a funny snippet or whatever that may be. You know, while that's important, your video or your carousel or whatever the case may be, what's equally important is the copy. Because you want this to be engaging. You may notice that a lot of brands pose questions in their captions. And it's not just for fun, it's because it causes you to leave comments. If they ask, what's your favorite soda or what's your favorite item off of our menu? They know you'll comment. And by commenting, you are feeding into the social media algorithm, which will make your post be seen by more people, which in turn helps the brand get more visibility. All right. So you have your content ready. Now what? Just as important as your content is how you curate it. There really is a method to the cadence of your social media content. At the end of the day, got you. While finding that delicate balance can really take a lot of trial and error in the beginning, really what you're doing is training your social media audience. You want them to expect and anticipate and be excited for the content you're going to share, which is why I'll see some brands and social media influencers always post a motivational quote on Monday, or they always post a video on Thursday of something that's going on. So the curation, the predictability is also an important part. Additionally, with your content, something else that's very important is your content pillars. How do you pick what you're posting on social media? Do I just post what everyone else is posting? Do I just post what I think is interesting? Well, content pillars are also a very important piece. For example, the company I work for doing social media, we have 4 content pillars. That would be promotions, business priorities, trends, and cultural content. And why am I forgetting my last one? Sorry. Community, very important one. So those are our content pillars. So anything that we post falls under one or more of those content pillars. All right, next we are going to go to KPIs, everyone's favorite acronym. Key performance indicators of social media. So you're posting, you're building your social media strategy, you're getting some likes, you're kind of feeling yourself, getting some comments. How do you know it's working? So your main KPIs on social media are always going to be reach, impressions, engagement, and if it applies, click-through rate. So reach and impression are typically mistaked as the same thing, as to where reach is defined by unique users. So we're going to do easy numbers because I hate math. If you have 100 impressions, that means 100 people saw your post. If you have a reach of 100, that could mean that 50 people saw your post twice. So that's the way to break it down. And then your engagement is your likes, your comments, your shares, all those things. So just kind of keeping those in mind will kind of tell you what your audience is liking and disliking. At our next period of social media, later in 2002, we saw the release of MySpace. Good times, good times. It was definitely different from Friendster. There was layouts, there was music, and little did we know we were also coding. I don't know about you guys, but I was in there coding and doing layouts and stuff, and I wish I knew that back then. But hey, but MySpace peaked in 2008 at 12 million users. And finally, we are going to move to analysis. So just like any other industry, there's reporting and there's audits. So that really just depends on the breadth of content that you're posting. Me personally, I perform an audit annually and reports post campaign for every campaign, and then monthly, just to see what's performing well, what content we should probably get rid of, honestly, what competitors are doing, what trends are in the industry. So there's really a lot that goes into it to make sure that you're keeping your audience engaged and really wanting to see the content that you're sharing. In 2004, the Facebook.com was born, that we all now know as Facebook. And 18 years later, a whopping $2.6 billion was spent on Facebook ads. Following that, in 2006, Twitter was released with its simplicity and ease on social media, where you didn't have to do all the extraness, just words, text, easy. And finally, something that is important about a social media strategy is trends and cultural moments. We see them, we love them. A great one that's going on now, that's a personal favorite of mine, is the Bill Hader from SNL, kind of like dancing around to the music. And then there's also the cultural moments that people hop on, like the famous Will Smith slapping Chris Rock that everybody wanted to make a meme out of and things like that. So it's really about just deciding what works for your brand. Everything isn't for every brand. And when brands try to hop on every single one, it just looks like they're thirsty for followers, honestly. So it's really just important to pick and choose what fits into your social media strategy. At the start of the 2010s came Instagram, and photos were no longer a supplement, but the main attraction. And this also introduced in-app photo editing with Instagram filters. In 2023, Instagram receives 95 million posts per day. And finally, Threads. If you follow the monstrosity that is the feud between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, you'll know Threads is now replacing Twitter, and in the first 5 days amassed 100 million users, which is the same amount of users that Friendster had in the entire time of it being around. So I know I covered a lot, but social media is really a broad topic. If you remember anything that I said today, really just touching on the elements of the social media strategy, analysis, how do you figure out if what you're doing is working or not? And then trends and cultural moments. Finally, I truly hope that I've altered your view on social media and make you guys think of it more of just a tool and not just a way to kill time during the day when you're supposed to be working. And how it's truly impacted the world in these last decades. Thank you for listening.
I mean, thank you very much, because I'm really a dinosaur when it comes to the social media, trying to figure out my way with that, to deal with that. Now we're going to go into something where we'd be able to use our, I guess, where we'd be called on to be able to make some off the cuff remarks, not off the cuff, I guess they are off the cuff, but thinking on our feet. And this is where we have an opportunity to do our table topics. And if I recall, the last time was going to be Dave. Is that right? Oh, okay, good. We got Andrew come up here to do us our table topics for the day. Thank you. My program changed. Thank you. There you go.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So talents, wonderful topic. So I was thinking about your topic when I read. I said, well, what is it? He asked me to do table topics. I said, what is the topic of what is the theme of the meeting? So I read the theme earlier today, and then I read it again, and I thought about it, and I listened to what he said about how he developed his talent. Unlike Bill, I was kind of born around one of my talents. Because I was born around music, I knew right away I liked to sing. I was good at singing. I could hold a note, at least. And so that was one of my talents. But I realized as I grew, I had so much more to give. And a lot of times our children don't realize what they have. I've asked this question to every kid that comes to my table when I'm selling books. What is it that you like to do? I don't ask them what do they want to be, you know, where they want to go. I don't ask them none of those questions. I ask them, what do they like doing? And so many times, like Bill said, they don't know. What do you like doing? They'll look at me like a deer in headlights and say nothing. And so, you know, I have to encourage them, find something that you like. You have time to develop it, but don't sit still. So with that, I would like to ask, who wants to elevate their minds and taking the opportunity to do table topics? Table topics can be done by our visitors or our members. It is just 1 minute. You only have to make it to that 1 minute, that green light. You missed the cue. You're supposed to push the green light. can't count on. No, I was just joking. So you just got to make it to see that green light and you hit your goal. So it's not that very long. It's not that very hard. And trust me, these questions are fun. So you want to join. So do I have any volunteers? Cool. Come on. Okay, pick a number 1 through 6. 3. 3. Mama, I wanna sing. Mama, I wanna sing. Mama, I wanna sing. I'm not gonna do the rest, but that's one of my talents. What is it that you really wanted to do as your talent, but you just really weren't good at?
Thank you for that question, Toastmaster Andrea. I'm just glad she didn't make me sing, because all of our new guests would be walking out that door. So thank you for that. No, that's not my answer. You know, when I was in 10th grade, I had to write a paper for Miss Lindemann's English class. And the paper was about what did you want to be when you grew up? And when did reality sink in? So when I was little, I always wanted to be a third baseman for the Atlanta Braves. My favorite player back then and still today is Hall of Famer Chipper Jones, number 10, the switch hitting guru. So I wanted to be a baseball player. But after trying out for the middle school team and the high school team and not making it once, I discovered that I was better at playing the radio than I was at baseball. So then I try to shift my focus on what am I good at? As Bill alluded to, what are your talents? I actually took a course at my old church, a 6-week course in finding what God has called you to do. What is your gift? Found out that it was hospitality. Makes sense. I like to host parties. I like to make sure everybody feels welcome and make sure everybody feels included and has a good time. So that's a gift that I found that God has blessed me with, is hospitality. And my other gift, I guess, some people don't think I'm that good, but some people do, is I like to be funny. And my goal in life is if I can make somebody laugh every day, that is a successful day for me. So it went from being a baseball player to being somebody full of hospitality and somebody who people find amusing. Thank you for that wonderful question.
Thank you, Toastmaster Cameron. All right, so do I have someone else who wants to join in the fun and elevate their minds right this moment? Anybody online? Sonia, you want to join in this one? Anyone? Oh, I got Alan here. Sonia, you're not off the hook, by the way. So again, pick a number 1 through 6 other than 3. 1. 6. Okay, got you next. Alan's up. But I can't wait to hear you answer a question. All right. If you could have done the talent that you felt that you have, or you had, or you thought you had, how would that elevate the life that you're living now? So if you were going to be a famous singer, what would your life look like compared to what it looks like now?
Thank you, Andrea. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I can't really sing that well anymore, but when I was 25, a bunch of my friends and I, we went to Louisville, Kentucky and auditioned for American Idol. Did not make it past the first round. It had nothing to do with anyone's lack of talent. It's just when you get to that level on a national TV show, you have to either be brilliant or you have to be so obviously terrible that it's funny. And we were all just modestly talented individuals, just trying to see how far we could go. And it was fun, but won't be doing that again. But as far as my talent, I think I've managed to discover it a lot in the last 5 years that I've been a Toastmaster. And that would be just being able to train and help motivate and develop other people and being able to discover their potential, just like many other experienced Toastmasters cultivated in me. And if you know the mark of a good club, it's one where the members will see things in you that you don't see in yourself. And if you are a little bit reluctant to take on roles or give more speeches or take on club officer roles, and no one else in the club tries to push you along, then it's time to keep moving and go find somewhere else. But that's not this club. David, Eric, Elvis, Cameron, Jamie, and all the other veteran members here, they will all hold you accountable and make sure, and of course, Andrea, who makes sure that you will not just come and give an icebreaker, give a timer speech, and then peace out. I hope all of you are in this for the long haul is my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Allen. And I love the fact that you encourage people to become members of this wonderful club that I call home. And so since Sonia had brilliantly said that she wanted to do number 6, you ready, Sonia?
I am ready. I am.
Okay. So number 6 question is, can you develop a talent or do you have to have a God-given gift for it to be a talent? Over to you, Toastmaster Sonia.
Thank you for that amazing question. I do believe that we all have God-given talents. I believe we have a divine purpose, and our assignments help us meet that purpose. But God doesn't make mistakes, in my opinion. And if he puts something on your heart to learn something new, it's because it's going to take you to your purpose. So yes, I believe you are born with inalienable opportunities and skill sets, but you're given the opportunity to excel and to access and to amplify it if you choose to. There's a parable in the Bible where someone was given something and he held on to it until his master came back. And his master's like, you didn't multiply that gift? He missed the assignment. Family, here in Toastmasters, we are given an opportunity of one path, but there's 11 more to go. So cultivate your purpose by taking on new assignments. So thank you for that question.
And that's how we do it. Toastmaster, do we have time for any more questions? Okay. All right. So let's see. Who wants to answer? I got some more questions. Want to get some more. Come on. We got. Okay. I'll take ladies first and then I'll take. And please remind me of your name. Maya. I thought so. I didn't want to get it wrong. Okay. Okay. No, I got good questions. No, don't worry about it. If I had to come up with one on the fly, I got one for you. But so you have a choice between 2, 4, 5. All right. Number 5. Oh. So this comes from the quote from the inspirational thought. A talent that you dreamed of doing, but you're really not good at, but you do it anyway, and it annoys your family, friends, and coworkers alike. Over to you, Toastmaster. I mean, future Toastmaster Mike.
Oh man, I'm just good at everything now. Not at all. I mean, that's a toss-up. There are so many different things that I think I know most of us try, but I've tried and I'm saying, I love this. I think I'm really good at it. And then turns out either I really don't like it as much as I thought, or I'm not as good as I thought. I think the one that probably still annoys people is the fact that I actually try my best to engage everyone in a way that may make me a little more loquacious or verbose or wordy, talkative. whatever you want to call it. I've learned many ways to talk about this because I talk a lot. And I think that sometimes bothers my coworkers a lot. If we're trying to stay on task for the meeting time, I think my family loves it to an extent because they're saying, hey, there'll never be a dull moment. But then there's that time when you're all staring at me and I've been talking for 10 minutes and I say, oh, let me ask them a question now and not take the stage. So I think that is probably the thing that I thought I was good at and could keep pace and engage everyone and equally do things so wonderfully. And really, I just take over and take all the space in the room with my voice. So that is part of the reason why I came here, because I'm trying my best to figure out how do I use my number one strength per StrengthsFinder, which is communication, in an effective or an efficient way.
Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, so we have time for one more. So do I have, oh, my daughter's coming up. I'm amazed. All right, so I will. Number two. Okay. And this had to be divine. I'm gonna just say that. Are you working using your talent, or are you just doing something to make some money? Or both?
You know what they say, you do what you love. I love doing hair. That's just where my hand's supposed to be. I have fun by the littlest things. You're like, oh, I'm just going a little bit faster, or oh, this is a little bit better. So I definitely use it because I love it. I don't use it for the money. It's just something that came to my mind, to my hands, and God, you gave me that talent, and I'm gonna definitely use it the way that it's supposed to get used. Thank you.
We have one more. I'm sorry. We do have one more. Robert. So this is me thinking on a fly. So I'm going to say something real fast. My daughter told me I was doing something really bad this weekend. I was talking too much. That's what she told me. She said I was talking too much. And so I was out selling the books, and I have a spiel that I give, right? And I'm so stuck on doing this spiel that I wasn't paying attention, that people weren't really paying attention. And so when you were talking, I was like, yep, I am guilty. So know that you can even learn as a seasoned Toastmaster. It's not just the beginners. You have to learn on the fly. So what talent did you have to learn on the fly? Because you told me you were a manager. So sometimes you have to do things on the fly. And sometimes you may not even know all of what you need to know, but you got through it anyway. So tell me about a time when you used your talent to get through it.
Oh boy. All right. So one of my talents is being very gregarious, being very friendly, for those of you who don't know what that means. What does that mean? So being a leader, you have to know a lot of successful things that other leaders do, a lot of habits, a lot of books that you can read to understand those skills and develop the skills as you mature in your career. And one of those skills I'm going to teach you today is understanding someone and then being understood. And that skill will take you very, very far in your industry, whatever industry you're in, or whatever relationship that you're in as well. So someone talks to you about your day or their day. I don't know how they're talking about your day first. Anyways, if you do not understand the individual, you can't really take that conversation very far. You can't really dive in and be wondering what's the why? Why are they talking about this? Well, there's a reason why they're talking about this. There's a reason for everything. Understanding someone takes a lot of listening skills. Now, being understood, this is where I come in and be like, hey, this is why I'm here. This is why I need to be more precise with my language. Being precise with your language allows the person you're talking with or your partner or what have you to understand you better on a fundamental level. And so that's one of my talents, other than being gregarious.
Good job. Good job. Good job. So thank you all for indulging me and listen and getting me to talk precisely. I am now turning this back over to our fabulous Toastmaster today. Toastmaster Bill, it's on to you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now we get into the evaluator. Where's our evaluator? Jamie. Jamie Richards is going to give us a little bit about how well we did and how well we need and ways to improve ourselves. And I know this, like for me as an old dinosaur, I think I can take some improvements. Thank you. Here you go, Jamie. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, Mr. General Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I will be your general evaluator this evening. That means I will facilitate the evaluation portion of the meeting. And feedback is the lifeblood of Toastmasters, not just feedback as individual speakers, which we will hear from shortly for Yasmin, but feedback as a club. How are we conducting ourselves as a club? What can we do to maximize the time that we have together in this room? So I'll share some thoughts on things that I thought we did well or things that we can improve. I'll also welcome back our timer to give the timer's report shortly, as well as our grammarian's report. But first, I want to introduce a distinguished Toastmaster who will be providing the individual evaluation, which is Toastmaster Colin.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Jamie. I don't know about the word distinguished. As many of us who have participated in Toastmasters know, that is a special adjective reserved for the highest of praise in Toastmaster land. You call me an elevated Toastmaster, though, I take that. I take that. So good evening again, everyone, and a special shout out to Yasmin. Let's give her another round of applause for that great speech. You certainly elevated my knowledge of social media, so thank you for giving me that knowledge burrito to chew on. I'll continue to chew on it. But Yasmin, tonight, I'd like to provide you my feedback in 3 buckets, the first of which is vocal delivery. Second is your physical presence. And the third is your speech content and structure. So I'll take those in order. So in terms of vocal delivery, your voice is excellent. It is clear, it is rich. You can hang on to every syllable, even when it feels like you're talking at a tone or a volume that would be conversational. I can hear it just fine in the back, even with the noisy HVAC system. So it's really, really crisp, easy to hang on to. It's warm. It's easy for my ears to tune into. That's really great. So lean into that strength. I used the word conversational a moment ago. Your tone was very conversational. You know, the energy that you were projecting up here kind of felt like just standing over on the side, having a chat with you about something. And I think that's also a really endearing quality in a speaker. Your inflection was nicely varied. Where I'd like to challenge you in the area of vocal delivery is just to stress a little bit more some of your key points. So your speech was full of a lot of information. It wasn't too much by any means, but you're giving us a lot to think about. What points do you really want us to hang on to? And how can you inflect in your voice to stress the importance of some of those points is something that you may find value in. So that brings me to physical presence. Your smile, 100 out of 100. It puts everyone at ease. You look very at ease. You look very physically comfortable up here. I think perhaps a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're speaking about a subject that you're clearly very knowledgeable about. When I first became a Toastmaster, I kind of fell into this trap of thinking, oh, I have to give speeches on a broad variety of topics. But later I kind of realized, oh, well, when I start to talk about things that I generally know more about, I feel more comfortable. And I think that comfort translates to confidence up here. So staying in an area that you're really familiar with, I think that projected confidence that you seem to already have naturally in abundance. So doesn't mean that you should always stick with what you know, but I thought you looked like a real authority on the subject up here. You made really good eye contact. One piece of feedback here would perhaps be just to linger a little bit more as you go around the room, you know, connect with a person here or there at each table. Otherwise, I mean, I thought your physical presence was great. I thought you made good use of the space. Clearly in view of our online participants the whole time. I was watching the club view up on the screen as well, just checking that out. So that's physical presence. I'd like to finish things off with the speech content in structure. So it was insightful. You packed a lot of information in there, but it didn't feel like too much. Your tone and your rhythm and your pace wasn't too much. I thought it was really nicely suited to the depth of the content. I think with regards to giving a speech where you're trying to share a lot of information, obviously it's a lot to remember. It's a lot to remember. And so I don't think it's a bad thing to park it at the lectern if you're going to make heavy use of notes. It's okay to not move around space. I know sometimes that goes against our natural inclination to move around. If you would feel more comfortable moving around, perhaps bringing the notes with you, bringing some note cards, whatever organizational method you think would best support your speech would probably be good, because at times, and it wasn't egregious by any stretch, but you lost where you were in the notes a little bit, and it took a moment to find it. And to your credit, you didn't get flustered. You didn't seem to break stride at all in terms of your comfort level, which, I mean, that's going to happen sometimes. So just keep the confidence pumping and stay cool, which you did. So overall, I thought it was a great speech. I'm looking forward to your next one, and thanks for bringing it tonight.
Thank you, Toastmaster Colin. Great example of real-time feedback. This is something that's hard to get in the real world, right? Whether it's in work, whether it's in our personal lives, getting real feedback on how we're performing as public speakers, this is the place to do it. So if you're a guest, listen to that feedback, listen to that speech. This is the growth that you can get here. All right, I'm going to invite our timer back for the timers report, and they will deliver for all of our timed speakers. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jamie. For our icebreaker speech tonight, Yasmin, I had you at 10 minutes and 57 seconds. Excellent job. For table topics, Cameron, I had you at 1 minute and 42 seconds. Alan, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Sonia at 1 minute. Maya at 1 minute and 33 seconds. Robert, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Jade, I have you at 30 seconds. And for the evaluator speech, Colin, I have you at 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Great and professional job tonight to everyone. And I will hand the mic back over to Jamie.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jeff. All right, I'll deliver my remarks. The only thing I'll remind people of is all of this is recorded. So if you've been up here tonight, make sure you take advantage of watching the video. It's always instructive. You'll get insights in terms of how you performed, how you done the timing, etc. All right, some of the things that I thought we did well today as a club. We started on time. I want to thank our board. If any of you were here last week, we had some disruption in our Zoom meeting in terms of folks coming on and being disruptive to the meeting. We took decisive action in the last week to make sure that we protected the integrity of the meeting, to make sure that we protected the participation and continue to facilitate a virtual meeting, which is important for a lot of our membership and guests. So fantastic job on that. I want to congratulate a lot of our newest members. Call out Bill, Kendall, Jeff, Yasmin, all members that joined within the last year and took on a role tonight, whether that was as a prepared speech or specifically helping facilitate our meeting. This club runs well when we have participation from our membership. So I encourage all of you who haven't yet signed up for a role, or even though those of you who have, take on a new role. Great examples throughout our table topics tonight. So congratulations to all of our table topic speakers as well. All of you elevated your experience just by getting up here tonight. One thing I would just call out to improve, vocal volume. We do have a lot of folks starting to move to the back of the room as we get more guests in here. We've got to be able to reach the people in the back. So speak up. Again, the mic's not going to help you. That's only for the folks on Zoom. All right, with that, I will invite back our grammarian, Toastmaster Kendall.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Today we had a really, we had a really good meeting today. I felt my mood elevate from the beginning of the meeting to now, so that's good. So tonight we had Bill, not too many ums or ands. Nick, I believe you had 4 us, so a couple of us. Jeff, I think you only had 1 Yeah, Yasmin, the ums were kind of there in the ands, but I could see that there was some acknowledgement that, you know, that was something that you were trying to cut down on. But good speech tonight. Andrea, you had 2 us, 1 and you also used the word of the day, which is great. And Bill, you did use the word of the day as well. Jamie and Colin, thank you guys for elevating the use of the word of the day. Cameron, you didn't have any ums or ands. Alan didn't have any ums or ands. Sonia, you did not have any ums or ands. Maya, nothing. Jade, I think you maybe had 1. Robert, you had 1. And Jamie and Colin and the timer, I'm sorry. Jeff, you all did not have any ums or ands. So thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kendall. That completes our evaluation portion. Thank you all again for a fantastic meeting. I will turn it back to our Toastmaster of the day to bring us home.
Thank you, Chairman. It looks like, folks, that we're a couple minutes ahead of time. Oops, let me get on talking on the microphone here. We have a couple of more minutes of time, and I don't know whether I ought to be doing an ad lib. I don't know what the instructions are for Toastmasters of the day. But I think from a final comments, I want to applaud everyone for that Toastmaster spirit of trying to better ourselves. We saw that particularly in the people who had the first time opportunity to come up here to do the table topics. That to me was shows courage and a willingness to step out of something that's a little out of your comfort level. And those are things that I think that help us all to improve ourselves. And the elevate is a good idea, that we elevate ourselves. And in a way, in my way of thinking, it's like you're reaching to give God back that talents that we have, even though sometimes it's hard to find them. That's a challenge. Those poor kids, I remember talking to them over and over again, like Andrea was talking about with children, of helping them to find talents and to giving them the courage to seek them out and to work hard. I mean, like I said, in sports, I wasn't that good, but I know some of you guys are great in sports because you try, you work hard. And that's how, like, even my grandkids, when they play sports, they work hard to do that. So with that in mind, I want to, again, thank you for the opportunity of doing a Toastmaster of the Day. It's been fun. So I'll turn this back over to our leader here, to Eric, and thank you again, and y'all have a good day. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. All right, thank you.
That was a mediocre round of applause. Let's have an outstanding round of applause. Bill, you did mention that you stepped in at the last minute, which we really appreciate. And we know anybody who has done that role, that's not an easy thing to do. So thank you so much for doing a great job. I would like to turn it back over to our VP of Membership, Colin. One of the traditions we do here is we give our guests an opportunity to introduce themselves at the beginning. And then we like to hear feedback from them, just to give them a moment to share their thoughts, especially if this has been their first Toastmaster meeting. So Colin, if you can please take over.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We'll go in reverse order this time. If you could just share with us a thought that you had as a guest, any feedback, if you have it as well, we certainly welcome that. So start here with Rita.
Thank you. It's a very successful session. It's my first session, so I don't think I have a lot to share, but I really appreciate the opportunity to have me here. And the session it's really interesting that you have a kind of like a long speech from a member, and also some table topics that are smaller ones, which is less intimidating, which is a good opportunity for practicing. So I like it. It's pretty good. Thank you.
Thank you. Now's the time for any sibling smack talk too, if you have it.
So I would say I like about Toastmasters, which is the first time I've ever been to a meeting, and I really didn't even know what I was coming here for. He didn't tell me until 2 minutes before I came in here. I love the communication. I love the feedback. I love that everybody is so much willing to participate. And I think I would like to probably come back again and get a little bit more experience.
I think what I liked is the attitudes across the room. Everybody is encouraging each other and uplifting each other. They're smiling. You can tell everybody's there to support one another. I'm impressed with those of you that spoke impromptu. That's hard to do. So, and I'm realizing that I need to go back to college where it's good to see the structure of a presentation. I've forgotten a lot of that. So it's good to have that review.
For me, I think everybody that came up and volunteered to speak, everybody spoke well. So I do feel like I'll be back again next week to possibly be up there speaking and be evaluated by you guys. So
So I really enjoyed the feedback that was given for everyone, and I'm looking forward to coming back next week.
Name is Steven. I was a little late, but I did enjoy people the impromptu speaking about untapped and unrefined talent. I think that's important for people to consider, to look into themselves to see what they have and what they can use a little bit better.
Oh, what did I like? I liked that everyone had courage to go up there and say at least one word. I know a lot of times it's hard to say even one word because you can't get it out of your mouth, but congratulations. Pat on the back for all of you who spoke, really, seriously. I'm a very observant being, and your characters are, it's great. Your auroras are unimaginable. Keep up the positivity.
All right. Thank you so much for having me today. I would like to tell everyone that I appreciate everyone's support here, just of each other. I'm very appreciative of how welcoming it felt coming in here, staying through, even being able to go up. I don't think that's possible without the presence that you all bring who are Toastmasters already. You make it very comfortable for someone who's coming for the first time. And I definitely want to come back. I think there's something special here.
I had a great time. This was my first time here. I never get to come with her, so it was a pleasure, and I appreciate the feedback from everybody.
Being an elder, I can tell her to stand up. And she told me to stand up, but I don't feel like it. So I'm going to keep my seat. I'd just like to say thank you for being warm and welcoming. My daughter's been coming a while, and I've come a few times to support, and each and every one of you gives me a warm feeling of welcome and enjoyment, and thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much to all of our guests. Come back anytime, come back as much as you want. This verbal gym does not require a membership, though we'd love to talk with you about the benefits of a membership. And with that, I'll turn it back over to our communication shaman, Eric.
Thank you, Colin. So we try to encourage everybody who comes to our meetings to at least play some role or say a few words. And I have identified two of our members who we've had a busy night, haven't had a chance to say anything tonight. One is on Zoom. So Elvis, I'm going to give you the floor for 30 to 60 seconds. You can just share greetings with us from wherever you are and make us jealous about the beautiful weather and beaches there, but you have the mic.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Eric. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. It is definitely a pleasure to be able to enjoy the meeting from afar. As you mentioned, I'm very far away, out of the country and in the Caribbean, enjoying and working, doing a little bit of both. As a VP of Education, which is now my role, I would be remiss if I didn't ask all of the members to sign up for roles for next time. And also, if you have any questions or anything about the pathway, if you have already enrolled in and have a question, I would be entirely at your disposition. You can reach me by email, or you can actually call my cell phone, which is also available. So any questions that you might have, I'm here for you. And thank you all for your participation. And now back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Elvis. And the other person is one of our newer members, Mike. I don't want to put you on the spot, but you have the mic at the very end. And if you want to maybe say anything to encourage some of our guests about joining or whatever you want to share with us, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I haven't been coming as often as I would have liked due to work and just the day-to-day of life. But it's always great coming back here. This is definitely, one of those things where it definitely challenges you if you don't like public speaking. We have a lot of veterans here that have been here for years, and they always inspired me and even the new guests to keep coming back. And, like they say, it's a judgment-free zone. So kudos to everybody that went up today. I know it's definitely one of those things that takes courage, and it's pretty much why you came here for. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. So one of the things that Mike just touched upon, which I really appreciate, is that when you come to meetings and you put the work in, you get to see the results. And I want to close with a quote here that has been attributed to several different people over the years. Benjamin Franklin, incorrectly, more likely it comes from an ancient Chinese proverb, which you may have heard before. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. And that epitomizes Toastmasters. So if you want to get better, even if you're already good at something, or if you want to get to a point you're really striving to reach, the only way to do that is to put in the work. And we appreciate everybody coming here this evening and doing that very thing. I want to end with two club announcements. One is a reminder to pay your dues and take advantage of the discount that is open to us now. And the second is we are trying to form an absolutely incredible, everybody's going to want to be on this, so you better just get in early, social committee that Andrea is leading. So if you haven't emailed her already, you ought to do that tonight, because that committee is going to close really soon, right, Andrea? Okay, thank you. And unless there are any other orders of business with that, I will thank everybody and call tonight's meeting to a close.